Hello, 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 hello. As promised, coming back to show you how I make dragon salad. One of the benefits, the great benefits that comes from going to a store different than what you normally do is getting a different getting some different veggies. So this go around, my dragons will be getting a little bit of a treat. Simply because I normally buy their stuff at Winco because it's cheaper. But the problem is that their selection is much, much smaller than other places. Now, at least once a month, I go shopping for their food at Yolks because they're kind of more of a specialty grocery store. You know, they've got specialty aisles, and I can get some really different, really different kinds of greens, but very expensive. And those greens are more of a treat. So you saw me start by putting paper towels in the bottoms of their bowls. That's just to help with moisture. Set those off to the side. So I got a mixture of stuff. This is called Fresh Herb Salad. This has green leaf, Mizuna, Tango, oak leaf, chard, baby spinach, arugula, frisee, red leaf, Lola Rosa, radicchio, baby butter, kale, cilantro, parsley, dill. So it's got a little bit of everything in it. Some of those I have more of that I'll be adding to it, like baby arugula, and then I have a whole bag of other stuff to add. So that stuff down there needs to be chopped up. So usually what I do is I start by splitting these between the two Rubbermaid bowls. And I hate trying to get these things open. Sometimes it likes to slice my hand open. Another good benefit to having one of these big ones is that it then creates its own garbage can, which is nice. So everything is, once this is empty, everything gets thrown into here and taken out to the outside trash. I start by splitting. Now, I don't know. Some people criticize that I don't wash these. So this, the frisee, I keep picking up the wrong one, is Ducky's favorite. This red leaf is Petrie's favorite. Ooh, I got a bunch of different lettuces, so I don't know if this is all going to fit. So we're going to leave some of this off to the side. Add in the baby arugula. Now, if I had a bigger bowl, like a very large bowl, I would mix this all up in the large bowl first. And then split it. But I don't have a bowl big enough. So I kind of have to do as best as I can. And I tend to just layer it like this. And then when I'm feeding, I kind of mix it around and grab from the here, so that way they get a little bit of everything. And at the end of the day, they don't really care as long as they get food. So this is a micro rainbow mix. It has arugula, broccoli, amaranth, beet tops, parsley, radish, and kale. Microgreens. It's kind of a little treat for them this go round. And yeah, it is some of the same greens. It's just, in the microgreen version versus full leaf. Okay, there's that one. I also have what's left over of the last package that I bought. I don't remember exactly what greens these are. But this is leftover, so it's going to go toward the top. Anything yucky looking like that, that looks like it's going past its prime. Which, unfortunately, now that I've spread it out a little bit, looks like a great majority of it. So I'm actually going to pull that back, most of that back out. And I will feed that to my super worms and kind of gut load them. All right, so now I need my cutting board, so I'm going to move these bowls out of the way. And hope I don't knock them all off onto my floor. This is beetroot. Let's see what time it is. Do I have time to boil beets while I'm having there? Oh, I do. Sweet. Let me get. I think my dyeing pan ended up being put in the. Here's the pan that I use for boiling stuff to dye paper with. Okay, that's my good pot. That's my pot. That's my pot. There it is. It got put way in the back of the cabinet, and it's not supposed to be in the cabinet because it's not for cooking. Get this water started. Put it on the stove. Get that started getting hot and boiling. Grab a knife while I'm over there. All right, so this is kind of a three-part thing. Dragons get the leaves. Superworms get the stems. Dropped a little bit on the floor so I'm not stepping all over it. And then the beets, I just cut them in half. And these will go into the water I just put on the stove. Now, my dragons do like regular beets. They will eat the beets if I grind them up or shred them up. But to be honest, it makes their poop smell really, really foul. I mean, not that it doesn't smell really bad anyway, but it's kind of like when us humans eat broccoli. You know, if you think about it that way, our poo never smells good, but when we eat like broccoli or cauliflower, it's like exponentially worse. Excuse me. It's kind of what happens with my dragons when I feed them beets. So, I buy the beets specifically for dyeing paper. That's it. And they do like the leaf, which is nice. Just trying to get as much of the stem stuff. It makes it easier to, you know, I cut it in half anyway, like that, just so that it's easier for the knife to go down, just like, you know, for chopping. Because in the general rule with feeding dragons is that you don't want their bite to be bigger than their head. So like with the beets, that's why I would shred it, so that way, I mean, because if I chopped it, I have to make sure that I chop it really fine, because it is a solid, you know, it's a solid vegetable. I don't worry so much about like really, really cutting the lettuce up super small, because it's lettuce. And they'll just chomp, 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 chomp until they have the entire thing into their mouth. Which is funny. Maybe I'll do a video of them eating. I have to get to a point where they actually seem to like want to eat. It's like, I don't know if I'm thinking that they're both getting ready going into a shed, because neither of them are really wanting to eat right now too much. I think Petrie is also struggling a little bit because his fountain broke. And so, you know, his environment's different. He's used to having a different humidity level. He's used to having water that he can, you know, hang out in. I've never seen him drink from his fountain, but, you know, he would just go and stand in it. But have a fountain. So. Everything out of the bag, just so I don't have to keep bending down for him. So I have dandelion leaves. In case you didn't know, you could actually buy those at Walmart. Curly parsley. Italian parsley. Cilantro. And mustard greens. Now you can see some of these are turning yellow already, so I'm going to use those ones first. Never mind. I'll put that into my in for the wormies. Oh, I had some extra over there. All right, so mustard leaf. Again, a favorite of my dragons. I tend to just kind of tear it down the spine again, you know, because this is hard. It's probably not super flavorful for the dragons, but, you know, the worms love it. And it, you know, it gut loads the worms with all the vitamins and minerals and everything that's in these vegetables. So eventually, you know, the worms or the dragons end up getting, you know, the fruits and vegetables, vitamins and minerals when they eat the worms that have now been gut loaded with all of this other stuff. So nothing goes to waste. Ooh, smells like my husband spilled something on the stove last time he cooked. I can kind of smell my stove behind me. See, nothing fancy there. Again, I was just, you know, tearing it up into smaller pieces just to, you know, it makes it easier to cut, makes them easier for them to bite and chew into. It also makes them easier to mix into the big bowl. Yeah, my bowls are getting full. I'm going to put these extra leaves into my overflow. And let me do this first. Take them off their spines because that'll save me room. I actually bought way more than I needed this time, which is, you know, that rarely happens. So I'm actually ending up with, you know, what I was saying about the container I usually use for throwing things away at the end of this is not going to be garbage because it's turning out to be like the overflow veggie holder. Okay. Cilantro. Whoop. Ah, I just flung lettuce or flung leaves everywhere. So they will eat the stemmy part, but again, it's not where the nutritional value is. It's not where the flavor is. So my dragons tend to leave these behind. So again, gut loading the worms. It's going into their little container. Oh, I love the smell of cilantro. My dragons love cilantro as well. So it is a staple. No matter what grocery store I buy from, I always buy cilantro to put into their mixes. Italian parsley, same thing. Cut the bulk of the stems off. And then I just do a kind of a rough chop. It's getting a little dangerous because, you know, having some issues feeling my fingers. So it's like, woo. Now the system that's holding my phone is a little different. It's frustrating. As apparently on the very last day of fair is when I managed to lose my tripod, my phone. I don't know. I mean, it may still be lost here in my house somewhere. I haven't seen it. I know I've tried to do some filming with it since fair and I haven't been able to find it. I messaged my bestie since, you know, I was staying in her camper. She didn't see it when she was cleaning. I messaged the barn superintendent, the other barn superintendent, see if I left it. They found it when they were cleaning and tearing down. She said she didn't see it. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just go buy a new one. But in the meantime, it's making it very challenging for me to film stuff like this. And then last but not least is the dandelion leaves. Again, this is a treat for them. It's the only place I have found these sold is at Walmart. And I don't, like I said, I don't usually buy my greens there for my dragons. I usually get them at Winco's, so. My wormies are going to be just as happy as my dragons. So some of this does not look very good, which is unfortunate because somebody in produce should have been checking a little better. So again, the stuff that is looking kind of like beyond its prime, looking a little gross, looking a little slimy, all of that stuff can go to the superworms. Doesn't matter. They will eat it. And again, it gut loads. So at the end of the day, my dragons don't miss out on any of the nutrients. So. Okay. Handful goes into each container. Now, you can see what a mess my counter is. I'm sure, I mean, just stretch that imagination and that's what my floor looks like at the moment as well. So, this is a very messy process for me. I don't worry about making a mess so much. Because I will send my vacuum cleaner in here when I'm done to clean up the bulk of the mess. So, and then whatever the vacuum doesn't pick up, when I let my dogs in, the dogs finish cleaning it up. Because my dogs are weird. And they like vegetables. So, kind of cleaning up a little bit of the mess there. Guess I'm using the bags as garbage instead of the tote this time. That's okay. Bring these back over. So I have these two. And with this, I take paper towels across the top, and I just kind of, especially for the one that's going to be on the bottom, because it's going to take longer to get into. Close this one up. I said, same with the ones on the bottom. This just helps absorb the moisture that is just innate when you have fresh greens and you have them in a refrigerator where things get condensated. So this one's going to be the one on the bottom, so I'm doubling up the paper towels. And then these go into the fridge. I ended up with all of these leftovers. And what I have found is that in this hard plastic that it comes in, does not stay fresh nearly as long as it does in the sealed Rubbermaids. So even though this only has the 3 different kinds of greens in it, you know, it's got the mix from the beginning, the baby arugula and the mustard greens. I will actually feed out of this one first. Just so that it doesn't go bad. Oops, kind of forgot something. They have already been fed today. Kind of tried to make some room. I'm all kind of caught up on stuff over there. Squeeze. Makes a nice 3-layer vegetable stack. And then here is my goodie bucket for my super worms. I'm just gonna make them like uber super happy. They love their greens. So that is that. Like I said, I'm boiling the beets on the stove. Be dyeing some paper a little bit later. I also bought the vegetables needed to do homemade beef broth, bone broth in my pressure cooker, which I'll be doing when I get back from my massage. Because it's probably okay, I don't want to run my pressure cooker while I'm not home. Yeah, I don't want to chance it because I have really shitty luck and, you know, something would explode while I'm gone. So there's that. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I can catch them eating at some point. But hit the like button, subscribe and share, hit the notification bell, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye!